Hey y'all, and welcome back to my channel. My name is Jennifer, and if you're new here, I would really like if you would subscribe. Um, Today I want to talk about something that is bothering me very much in my personal life, as well as online. I see it so often, and I'm guilty of this. I've done this myself many times. But I just want to point it out. I just want to make it known. I just want people to be aware of these behaviors. And, because nobody tells young girls or girls in general going into relationships what red flags to look for. And rarely do they build up their confidence enough to see those red flags and then, have that person removed from your life. Usually we see the red flags and then we just kind of act like they're not there because we love the person, or we just don't want to be alone. Who wants to be alone through life? It sucks being alone. But you know what sucks more is being in a relationship where you're not respected and you're not valued and you're being played. Now, I want to talk about red flags in relationships. Okay? And I'm mainly talking about cis female with cis male, because that's what my experience is male and female relationships. Now, the first red flag. Sorry, my camera will not focus for some reason. There we go. The first red flag that you want to look out for is, how is he talking about the previous girls in his life? Is he calling them whores? Is he calling them crazy? Is he making their breakup out to be her fault? Is she the bad guy to him? If he is constantly putting down the females that he has been with in the past, that's your first red flag. Because usually the men who ruin the relationship will go on to the next female and talk down on her so hard, just to put the new female at ease that that they don't want the last girl that they were already with. And as females, usually it's more younger females, like 30, mid-30s and younger. We tend to look past this red flag. Or sometimes, most of the time, we don't even realize it is a red flag. And so that's the first one. The second one is, how does he treat you in the beginning? Is he overly nice? Is he showering you with gifts too much? Is he going out of his way to prove that he's a nice guy? Because if he's doing these things, and sometimes it is genuine, but most of the time they are trying to butter you up. So when his true side comes out, you're kind of the blow is already kind of softened, because he has already tangled you in a web of false love and false security, that you're just going to look past the way he's going to eventually start to treat you. Now, another thing is, if when y'all fight, because everybody fights in their relationships, it's how you handle it going forward. That will tell you if you are a child or an adult. Now, if in y'all's fights he goes for the low blows and starts calling you like a bad mom, or you're ugly, you're fat, like going after your looks, but then when y'all make up, he's like, oh, I was just saying that to make you mad. Don't believe him. Because men, I have noticed, and correct me if I'm wrong, men, in the comments, please correct me if I'm wrong. Because this is just from a woman's perspective, dealing with men like this. Most of the time, that's how they truly feel. And that's what they really think about you. Or if they're drunk and they start calling you a whore or whatever they call you, that's what they really think about you. And trust me, a man can lay with a woman and pretend to be with her and pretend to love her just to have a place to stay, just to have, sex whenever it's sex available whenever he wants it. Guys will do a lot of shady stuff just to get what they want. And trust me, if you break up with a dude and, like when y'all break up, and, because most couples will break up in the beginning a few times and they'll get back together. But if the breakup is constantly the same and the words are very hurtful and they're very consistent and he's always saying the same hurtful things, take my word for it and believe him when he tells you these things, because this is how he feels. And don't let your loneliness drive you back into his arms, or drive you into the arms of somebody like a rebound. As females, we have been told our whole life what's wrong with us. We have been told from when we were little girls that we needed to be pretty, that there is a certain type of pretty. And if we're not that certain type of pretty, then there's something wrong with us. And we have been told, we have just been fed shit about who we are and who we're supposed to be since day one. And we have never been given the chance to sit back and figure out who we are, who we want to be. I don't want to be an object of a man's desire. I don't want to be stuck in a 9-to-5 job. I am a creative thinker. I'm a creative being. I don't work that way. I will never be the type to just sit down, be pretty, and shut up. I will always speak my opinions, whether they are hurtful. And I'm not saying that in I'm going to attack somebody just because I think something. I'm talking about if I see somebody going through a situation and they're too afraid to speak up, I'm going to say what's necessary and I'm going to say what needs to be said. I think I was put on this planet to wake people the fuck up and be a mirror to their shittiness. You can't go around promising girls and people a false image and a false reality of who you are. Be who you say you are. Be who you are regardless of who likes it or not, because the right people who like that type of person that you are will come along. Don't settle just because you are lonely. That's the worst thing you can do, because you will always get hurt. People are never going to live up to your expectations. And that's another thing. Don't go into a relationship expecting something out of somebody. Don't expect them to be something. Don't expect them to be your idea of what a person should be. Accept the person for who they are and watch how easily it flows. Over this past week, I sat and watched my best friend break up with her boyfriend, who had consistently called her a slut and a whore. Excuse my mouth. But had consistently called her these things every single time they fought. And she would call me crying at least every 2 weeks, saying that they broke up. And we went down to South Carolina on Friday. And she was crying the whole time. Like literally 5 hours down and 5 hours back. And she was thinking about going back to her ex just so she wouldn't have to be lonely. She was talking to random dudes on Facebook Messenger just so she wouldn't be lonely. And I kept telling her, you don't need men to not be lonely. It's possible to be fulfilled and be happy on your own with yourself. But I guess you can figure out the outcome to that situation. Of course she got back with the fucking douchebag. And you know what? When she calls me crying in 2 weeks, I don't think I'm going to help her. I'm going to say, you know what? You made your bed. You have to lie in it. I told you this was coming. And you didn't believe me. Trust the red flags. Trust your instincts. Don't give third, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh chances. You can forgive and let somebody try again. But the best and the only apology is changed behavior. So I want you guys to remember that. If a person is not changing their behavior, then their apology doesn't mean anything. They can say the sweetest, kindest things in the world to you, but if their behavior isn't changing, then they don't mean it. And that is true, 100%. I love you guys, and I'm going to be picking the winners for the crystal, so just leave a comment, and I will talk to you guys tomorrow. I love you. Bye.